Hi friends, today our topic is light reflection and refraction. This is the 10th chapter of grade 10 in physics, the light reflection and refraction. So let us see today about the light. We know very well light. Without light we can't see any object. For example, we are in a dark room. Can we see any objects without light? No, it is not possible. But when we switch on the light, we are able to see the objects. How it is possible? We know very well that to get the vision, the sense organ which is working is the sense organs which are helping us is eyes. We know very well. But these sense organs are not works without light. That means what? Here to get the sensation of vision, the eyes only not helping us. The light is also helping us to get the sensation of vision. Now come to the point. Now light. What is light actually? How can we define the light? We know very well that to define the light is a form of energy. How we are defining the light? Light is a form of energy. And light can give the sensation of vision. Light is a form of energy and light can give the sensation of vision. This is the definition of light. So, now come to the point. Here, light. How the light, from where does the light exist? We know very well that light exists from source of the light. The main source of the light is sun. The main source of the light is sun. From the sun, the light is existing and it is traveling in a straight line. Here, how does the light travels? Light travels in a straight line path. First point. Light travels in a straight line path. So here the light exists from the source of the light and it will travel in the straight line path. What do we call this? The path of the light. The light travels in a straight line path. It is called as the rectilinear. What do we call that one? Rectilinear propagation. Rectilinear propagation of light. Rectilinear propagation of light means what? Light travels in a straight line path is called as the rectilinear propagation of light. And here in the nature there are so many different type of phenomena we have which are associated with the light. What are these different phenomena? For example, if you take number one, the formation of the images. Formation of images. Images are formed because of light. And second one, here if you see, here the reflection of light. Reflection of light. And third one, refraction. Third one, refraction. Like this, if you write the bending nature of the light, and next one, formation of the rainbow with the different colors. We know very well 7 different colors will be formed. Okay, because of the colors, a rainbow will form. So all these are the different phenomena which are associated with the light. So, but in this class, in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the 2 different type of phenomena of light, which are reflection and refraction of light. Now come to the point. Let us see what is meant by reflection and what is meant by refraction of light. Okay? Yes. Now let us see what is a reflection of light. What is reflection of light? Reflection of light. Now, let us try to give the one word meaning for the reflection. Reflection means what? Bouncing back. Bouncing back, coming back. For example, take a ball into your hand and throw that ball towards the wall. And when that ball hits the wall, it will comes back, and it will comes to your hand. This is called bouncing ball, bouncing back. In the same way, when the light travels in a straight line path, in this path of the light, if there is any obstacle, when the light reaches to the obstacle, here this light ray will bounces back, comes back into the same medium. In the same way, the light bouncing back into the same medium is called as the reflection of light. It is called as a reflection of light. Now let us see here. Because of this reflection of light only, there are so many different type of phenomena are existing because of light. And see here, mainly when the light reflects, it forms the images. Now let us see. For example, here I am taking a smooth surface. And here I am taking a point, and at this point I am drawing a normal line. Normal line is nothing but what? Perpendicular line to this surface. AB is a smooth surface, and here one of the point I am taking, this is called as the point O. At this point O, I am drawing a normal line to this AB surface, horizontal surface. Normal line, ON, normal line, and it is called as the perpendicular line. It is also a normal line. Now, this is the source of the light. From the source of the light, one of the light ray is traveling in a straight line path, and this ray is called as a ray of incidence. And also it is called as the incident ray. Now this ray is traveling in the straight line path, and it is incidencing at point of O. This point O is called as the point of incidence. After incidencing at this point, what happens to this light ray? Here we are taking a smooth surface. When the light incidents on a smooth surface, immediately it will bounces back, reflects back. Okay. So after bouncing back from this point O, in which direction it will travels? Either it will travels in this direction, or in this direction, or in this direction. The reflected light ray, the bounced back light ray, how it will travels? Or it will travels in the same path in which it is arrived. How it will travels? Now let us try to find out that. If the light ray bounces back, okay, now the bounced back light ray, the reflected light ray will travels in this direction. This ray is called as a ray of reflection. What do we call this one? Ray of reflection. Here it is called as the ray of incidence, and this is called as the ray of reflection, and this is called as the normal line. How can we say, sir, in this direction only the light ray will travels? How can we find this ray? And how can we say this is only the direction of the reflected light ray? Further, we have a rule. That is what? For example, if we take this normal line, and if we take this ray of incidence, the angle between the ray of incidence and normal line, it is called as the angle of incidence. And here if you take the ray of reflection, the angle between the ray of reflection and the normal line, it is called as the angle of reflection. In case of smooth surfaces, always the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. That means with respect to the normal line, if this light ray is incidencing, for example, with 30 degrees of angle, then with respect to this same normal line, the reflected light ray is also emerges. That means what? Reflects back with the same 30 degrees angle with respect to the normal line. This is only the first rule, and this is called as the law of reflection. This is called as the law of reflection. What is this law of reflection? The first law of reflection is that the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence is denoted by the letter angle I, and angle of reflection is denoted by the symbol angle R. Angle I is equals to angle R. This is the first law of reflection. And second one, what is the second law of reflection? The second law of reflection is that the ray of incidence and the ray of reflection and the normal line, all these will lies in the same plane to the what? Surface. To the surface. If you take the AP surface, to this AP surface, all these ray of incidence, normal line and the ray of reflection, all these will lies in the same plane. This is the second law of reflection. These are called the laws of reflection. These laws are applicable for all types of mirrors. What all type of mirrors? For example, if you take the mirrors, we have the different type of mirrors. For example, we have the plane mirrors and as well as we have the spherical mirrors. In the spherical mirrors, again we have the different type of mirrors. You take any type of mirror, for all the different type of mirrors, these laws are applicable. These are called as the what? Laws of reflection. Because of reflection of light, the images will form. For example, if you take a mirror, on a mirror, the light rays will incident, and from this mirror, these light rays will reflect back. These reflected light rays will form the images. So here, these images are forming because of the what? Reflection of the light. For example, reflection of light on plane mirror. Reflection of light on a plane mirror. How the image will form in a plane mirror? On a plane mirror, now let us see. For example, here I am taking a mirror and this is the reflecting surface, and here I am taking an object. Here I am taking an object in front of the mirror. Now this object forms the image inside the mirror. This image will form beyond the mirror. That means inside the mirror actually the image will form. Now if we see the image and object which is formed by the plane mirror, if we observe the properties of the image formed by the plane mirror, now let us see. This is the object and this is the mirror and this is the image. Now if you observe this, the size of the object is almost equal to the size of the image. That means size of the image is almost equal to the size of the object. This is the first property. This is the first property of image formed by the plane mirror. Now we are discussing about the properties of image formed by the plane mirror. The first property of the image formed by the plane mirror is that the size of the image. What is that? Size of image is equal to size of object. Size of object. And next one, here the distance from the mirror to the object is called as the object distance, which is denoted by the letter U. And the distance from the mirror to the image is called as the image distance, which is denoted by the letter V. In case of the plane mirrors, the object distance, this is the second property of the image formed by the plane mirror. The image distance is equals to the object distance, or the object distance is equals to the image distance. This is the second property of the light. And here size of the object is equal to the size of the image, and second one is that image distance is equal to the object distance. And next one, here it is laterally shift. Everything will be remains the same. That means if you stand in front of the mirror, in front of a plane mirror, if you move towards the mirror, the image is also comes near to you, and if you move away from the mirror, the image is also moves backwards inside the mirror. So that is nothing but what? Object distance. When object distance changes, image distance also changes inside the mirror. The only one difference will be there. What is that main difference is that here the image which is formed by the plane mirror is laterally shift. Laterally shift means what here? If you show the right hand, the image will show the left hand. When your pocket is left side of you, but inside the mirror it will show the right side. That is called as the laterally shift. These are the properties of the image which is formed by the plane mirror. Okay. Next we have spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors. What are these spherical mirrors? Now let us see. Spherical mirrors are two types. Number one, convex mirror. Convex mirror, and second one is concave mirror. Concave mirror. Convex mirror and concave mirror. Now let us see. What are these convex mirror and concave mirror? Spherical mirrors. Here a spherical mirror. Now let us see convex mirror. A spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved outwards. That means what? Inward surface is coated with a color. Then outward surface is acting like the reflecting surface. Reflecting surface. Then it is called as the convex mirror. And next one, concave mirror. What is this concave mirror? Concave mirror means the reflecting surface curved inwards. Outward surface coated with any color, and inside surface, inward surface is acting like the reflecting surface. Reflecting surface. Such type of mirror is called as the concave mirror. Here we have two types of mirrors: spherical mirrors, convex mirror, and concave mirror. Why these are called as the spherical mirrors actually? Now let us see. These are, for example, if you see, this is a curvature of the mirror, spherical mirror. Now see, actually these spherical mirrors are the parts of a sphere. How can we say? For example, this is the MN is one of the spherical mirror. If you extend the part of this spherical mirror, you will get a sphere. That means what? This mirror is a part of a sphere. That is the reason these are called as a spherical mirrors. So here we have convex mirror and a concave mirror. Now see, to understand this, let us take a spoon. For example, in our house we have the spoon. See, if you take the spoon will have the two surfaces. That means inwards and outwards. See, if you take a spoon, see this curved inward surface and curved outward surface. This curved inward surface acts like this. This is the reflecting surface. This curved inward surface is called as the concave mirror. Now, if you see your image like this, this is curved outwards, bulged out surface. This surface is acting like the convex mirror. This is convex mirror and this is a concave mirror. You can observe your image also in the houses. If you see your image in the convex surface, okay, it is erected and as usually it will form the image. And if you observe your image in this way, you will see the inverted image. That means the reverse image you can see. This is concave mirror. Okay, so here this is about the what spherical mirrors, convex mirror and concave mirror. These are the parts of a sphere. That is the reason these are called as spherical mirrors. the bulged out surface, outwards surface, acting like the reflecting surface means that is convex mirror. The shrinks inside surface or curved inward surface is acting like the reflecting surface, then it is called as the concave mirror. Now come to the point. Here some of the different words which are associated with these spherical mirrors. First let us learn about these terms. Some words and terms, some terms. First of all let us learn which are associated with these spherical mirrors. Now come to the point. For example, this is the one of the spherical mirror. M and is the mirror. For this spherical mirror, here we have a center point. This is center point of the mirror. It lies on the mirror surface. This point is called as the pole point. The first point is the pole point. This is the word. This is the term which is associated with spherical mirrors. This is called as the what? Pole point. Pole point, which is denoted by the letter P. Now, I am drawing a horizontal line which is traveling through the pole point. This line is called as the principal axis. Principal axis. And next one, see here, if you take this spherical mirror, this is a part of a sphere. We know very well that if you extend this part, you will get the sphere. For this sphere, you have the what? Center. For this sphere, you have one center. This is the center of a sphere. Center of a sphere. It is not only to the center of a sphere, this is also called as the center of the mirror, spherical mirror. So, this is called as the center of curvature, which is denoted by the letter C. C is called the center of curvature. Now, in between the P and C, that means what? In between the pole point and center of curvature, exactly in the middle, we have one more point. This is denoted by the letter F. This is called as the focus point. What do we call this one? This is called as the focus point. Focus point. Okay. Now, next one. From the pole point to the center of curvature, whatever the distance we have here, from the pole point to the center of curvature, whatever the distance we have here, this is denoted by the letter R. This R is called as the radius of curvature. What do we call it? A radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. And next one, the distance from the pole point to the focus point. Distance from the pole point to the focus point, it is denoted by the letter small f. This distance is called as the focal length. What do we call that one? Focal length. Now, what are the different terms we discussed now which are associated to the spherical mirrors? Now, once again I am repeating. Listen very carefully and try to understand. The first point is that B, which is nothing but what? Pole point. First one is what? Pole point. Pole point lies on the mirror, which is the center of the mirror. Is called as the pole point. It is denoted by the letter P. And second one, center of curvature, denoted by the letter C. Center of curvature. Center of curvature not lies on the mirror, it is out of the mirror. This is the center of the curvature. And next one, F. F is nothing but what? Focus point. Next one is what? Focus point. First one, pole point, which lies on the mirror. It is the center of the mirror. Second one is what? center of the curvature, and which will not lies on the mirror, it will lies outside of the mirror. Third one is focus point. Focus point is the what? Midpoint of focal point and center of curvature. This is also not lies on the mirror. And next one, we discussed about the what? Principal axis. Principal axis. What is meant by principal axis? The line which is passing through the pole point, focus point and center of curvature. Horizontal line which is passing through the pole point, focus point and center of curvature. That line is called as the what? Principal axis. And next one, we discuss about the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is denoted by the letter what? Capital R. What is this radius of curvature? Radius of curvature is nothing but the distance from the pole point to the center of curvature. See here, R means radius of curvature. C means center of curvature. Center of curvature C and radius of curvature R, these two are not same points. Here, C is the point. C is the point, center point of the spherical mirror. This is the center of the curvature. It is the point. R is the radius. Radius means what? Distance from the pole point to the what? Center of curvature. There is a lot of difference between the center of curvature and the radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is nothing but it is the distance from the pole point to the center of the curvature, and C is the center of curvature. Next one, we discussed about the focus point or focal length. Focal length. The focal length is denoted by the letter what? Small f. Focal length is nothing but what? This is also a distance. Focus point is different. Focal length is different. Focus point is nothing but the what? The point. Okay, on the principal axis which lies between the center of curvature and pole point. That is called as the what? Focus point. Here, focal length. Focal length is denoted by the letter small f. Small f is nothing but the distance from the pole point to the focus point is called as the focal length. Okay, so these are the different terms which are associated with the spherical mirrors. Before going to discuss about the further topic regarding these spherical mirrors and images formed by the spherical mirrors, first of all, we should have the idea about these terms. That is the reason, first we should learn about these terms which are associated with the spherical mirrors. First one, pole point. Next one, center of curvature. Third one, focus point. Fourth one, principal axis. Fifth one, radius of curvature. Sixth one, focal length. Now come to the point. Here, if we give the relation between the R and F, what is R here? Radius of curvature. And F, focal length. Now I would like to give the relation between the focal length and the radius of curvature. If we observe, this distance means what? PC. R is nothing but what? PC. Pole point to the center of curvature. The distance between the pole point to the center of curvature, distance is denoted by PC. PC is equals to what? R. Radius of curvature. Next, distance from the pole point to the focus point. It is denoted by what? The distance PF. Pole point to the focus point, PF, the distance. PF is equal to what? Small f. If we observe these two distances, here the focal length is almost half of the radius of curvature. And still, how can we say that? We can say in such a way that the radius of curvature is almost double to the focal length. Then how can we give the relation? Here R and F. We are trying to give the relation between R and F. R is equals to 2F. Radius of curvature is always double to the focal length. Or else we can say like this also. F is equals to R by 2. F is equals to R by 2. That means what? Focal length is always half of the radius of curvature. Focal length is always half of the radius of curvature. This is the relation between the radius of curvature and focal length. Okay, so these are the terms which are related to the spherical mirrors and relation between the radius of curvature and focal length. We should remember these relations, most important relations. R is equals to 2F, F is equals to R by 2. Okay. Now, how the light reflects from convex mirror and concave mirror. Now let us see. First of all, reflection on concave mirror. Now let us see. Reflection on concave mirror. Now let us see. Here I am taking a concave mirror, Mn, a curvature. The outward surface is not acting like the reflecting surface. Inward surface is acting like the reflecting surface. That is the reason it is called as the concave mirror. And we know very well, this is the what? Pole point of the mirror P. Pole point of the mirror P. And here I am drawing a principal axis. Now, at a far distance, from long distance, from infinite distance, the light rays are traveling. These light rays are parallel to the principal axis. Some of the light rays are parallel to the principal axis, traveling towards the mirror. First one, second one, and here the third one, next one, fourth one. So like this, these light rays are coming from an object, the object which is at an infinite distance. From the infinite distance, whatever the light rays are moving or coming towards the mirror, all these light rays can be taken as the parallel to the principal axis. Now all these light rays are parallel to the principal axis and incidencing on the concave mirror at different points. After incidencing on the concave mirror at different points, what happens to these light rays? We know very well that this is the concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface, these are the light rays. After incidencing on the mirror, these light rays will reflect back. After reflecting from that point, how does these light rays will travel? After reflecting, all these light rays will travel in such a way that all these light rays will converges. All these light rays will converges at one point, intersects at one point. Now, these all are the ray of incidence and all these are the ray of reflection. All these reflected light rays are converging or intersecting at one point. This point only called as the focus point. The point where the reflected light rays will converges or intersects, that point is called as the focus point. At this point only the image will forms. That is the reason it is called as the focus point. So here the distance from the pole point to the focus point, we know very well, this is called as the focal length. That is the reason here the concave mirror is called as the converging mirror. Why it is called as the converging mirror? It is converging the reflected light rays. After incidence, all the light rays are reflected. All the reflected light rays are converging at one point, intersecting at one point. That point is called as the what? Focus point. That is the reason this mirror, which mirror? Concave mirror is called as a converging mirror. And next one, let us see the reflection on convex mirror. Let us see the reflection on convex mirror. Previously, till now we discussed about the what? Concave. Now we are discussing about the convex mirror. Convex mirror means what here? Here, this is the mirror, curvature Mn, and inward surface must be coated with color. Bulged out surface is acting like the what? Reflecting surface. This is what? Pole point, and through this pole point we are drawing a principal axis. Now, different light rays which are emerging, coming from the water for distance from an object. So these are the light rays, these are the rays of incidence. Okay, all these light rays are parallel to the principal axis and incidencing at different points on the convex mirror. Now, after incidencing on the convex mirror, what happens to these light rays? We know very well that how the light rays are reflected from the concave mirror, in the same way these light rays also reflects from the convex mirror. Now come to the point. Here, this is the first ray. It is incidencing at this point. After reflection, it will move in this direction. This is the second ray. It will move in this direction. Reflected light rays. Now I am drawing the reflected light rays. Now let us see this ray. This is also one of the ray of incidence. This ray of incidence is traveling or passing through the water principal axis. Exactly. And incidencing at point P. After incidencing at point P, what happens? This light ray is also reflects. After reflecting, how it will travel, how it will passes? It will passes in the same direction. See here, the ray which is incidencing on the principal axis, okay, which is traveling through the principal axis, it will reflect back in the same path. Why? Because this principal axis is nothing but normal line, perpendicular line to the water mirror. So that is the reason the light ray which is incidencing on the normal line, it will reflects and passes in the same direction. Next one, if you take the another ray which is incidencing at this point, it will reflect in this direction, and one more ray if you take, this will reflect in this direction. Now if we observe these reflected light rays, previously in case of the concave mirror, all the light rays are converging, but now all the light rays are deviating in the different directions. So this is called as the divergence of light rays. What do we call this one? Divergence of light rays. That means what? By this we can understand that convex mirror diverges the light rays. Concave mirror converges the light rays, and convex mirror diverges the light rays. It deviates the path of the light rays. Now, all these light rays are deviated in the different directions. Now, let us try to extend these deviated light rays backwards. Now see. Now, if we extend these deviated light rays backwards, all these deviated light rays also converging at one point, intersecting at one point. This is called as the focus point of convex mirror. So by this what we can understand? We can understand that focus point of the convex mirror will be lies beyond the mirror. That is the reason this convex mirror is called as the divergent mirror. Divergent mirror. Concave mirror is a convergent mirror. Convex mirror is a divergent mirror. Convex mirror converges the light rays. Converges the light rays. And convex mirror diverges the light rays. Concave mirror converges the light rays. Convex mirror diverges the light rays. That is the reason concave mirror is called as the convergent mirror and convex mirror is called as the divergent mirror. So from this we can understand that what is meant by focus point. Focus point of a mirror is nothing but the point where all the light rays, reflected light rays will converges. That point is called as the focus point, and at that point only, at that focus point only, the image will forms. So this is about the what? Reflection on convex mirror and reflection on concave mirror.